What's up, guys? Welcome back to Empowered Mindset. Today we're going to be talking about networking. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Networking your way to success. Okay. So, in my opinion, I believe networking can go one of two ways. It can bring you either down to where you're not going to meet your goals, or up where you're going to meet your goals and surround yourself with the right people, which is something that I've been trying to do on this podcast for quite a while. I've surrounded myself with not only Two Vets, which Two Vets has been around for as long as I've been around, I'm pretty sure, but I've also added Kevin to the mix, who is the owner of the official No Cut Cards. Don't forget to go check out his website at theofficialnocutcards.com. Also, don't forget to check out Two Vets Canine Training.com for all your training needs. Two Vets and Kevin, welcome to the show, which you
Thank
guys
you
are
for
pretty
having
much
us.
always here. So, like I said, my opinion is if you surround yourself with the right people, you're going to go places, right? I'd like to take a minute because both Two Vets and Kevin are, in my opinion, pretty successful in their careers. Two Vets has been training dogs since 2016. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. And Kevin, you've been in business most of your life. You've been an entrepreneur most of your life. So, I mean, can't count the businesses. As you guys could tell, yes, the studio has kind of changed a little bit. I am still adding more to it. I will be putting my flags up again, and it will look just like it did before, kind of. But I added another monitor so I can actually keep track of other things without having to worry about moving so much. Now, let's get back to it. Kevin, can you tell me a time where maybe networking maybe didn't work quite the way it should have, such as while you were networking, maybe you ran across the wrong crowd?
Always happens. You always run across the wrong crowd, but it's up to you. You have to do your due diligence. So that's a problem is, your network, they say your network's your net worth. Well, when you hit the wrong network, when you don't do your due diligence on who you're networking with, you end up spending a lot of money and you learn the hard way, so to speak. I have definitely had some bad investments in my time. And honestly, I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in all honesty, but in reality, it's priceless because you really actually learn a lot. When you lose a lot, you learn a lot. That's for damn sure. So, it's almost the same thing as who you hang around. Who you hang around is your network as well. If you think about that, whoever you're around is your network. It's the same thing. If you're around the wrong people, bad mentalities, negative shit, you're gonna have bad mentality and be negative.
Yeah,
Right. So your network is basically who you associate with. And it's when you start moving on the right path, you start to network and associate with the right people. And that's what brings you up.
I completely agree. How about you two vets? What can you tell me a challenge you faced in your business with dealing with the wrong people? Maybe
I
you
wouldn't
don't.
necessarily.
Please don't say any names, though. That's the only thing I'm gonna ask. Don't say any names. Just like maybe an experience.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that it was a business. Well, yeah, it would be business because I use my business name, but when networking on TikTok, and that's actually not to say that it's a bad experience because that experience actually brought us together. However, the goal of to project who I wanted to project the message to didn't necessarily get out there, but it still got out there, and I still got noticed, you know.
So, okay, when I talk about networking, I'm not talking about just on the internet. I'm talking about
Right.
like the people you surround yourself with. Like I have surrounded myself with Chris from
Mm,
Not My Final Form, Kevin from No Cut Cards, you from Two Vets Canine. I'm and in my opinion, I'm actually taking a step out of a motivational speaker. I can't remember his name, but he says that if you want to be successful, you surround yourself with successful people, right?
exactly.
If you want to be a failure, you're going to surround yourself with failures, right? Which,
Well,
by the way, I mean no disrespect to any one of my friends that maybe don't feel they are successful. Um, I'm just putting it out there that this is the saying that was made. So what I'm saying is like maybe you started like maybe you had a point in your life where you were working on this business and maybe someone came along that at first seemed like they were a great person, they'd help your business out and everything like that. Maybe, by the way, we got a comment saying, love the hat, no cut cards.
Yeah, just just called jumping out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? You gotta do it once in a while. Plus, my hair looks fucking great with this one. Definitely more hair than I actually have. It's fucking beautiful.
Actually, that brings us to our next point. Maybe that person was a little bit uncomfortable at the time to be around, but you thought he would be a good match.
Yep.
Yeah, I could actually comment on that. My
That's who I'm asking.
One of the guys that I actually was talking to, he was going to be one of the full-time trainers with Two Vets Canine, and his methodologies and ideologies in comparison to mine, two totally polar opposites, and he's like, I have morals, I have boundaries, this isn't going to work. And it's one of those, we have to educate ourselves, whether we agree with it or not. We still have to, we still have to educate ourselves so we can go one way or the other, even argue for or against in certain areas. And he was like, not only no, but Hades no. And I'm like, I don't see it that, I don't see it that way.
You can say hell on the podcast. It's fine. It is a place, so I'm good with it. Two Vets likes to censor himself, and I will say why. It's because what his business that he deals with is helping veterans gain service dogs, which I love talking about it. As you guys know, I love talking about the Battle Buddy program because I'm a huge supporter of it. The Battle Buddy program is awesome. Matter of fact, you know what? Instead of me talking about it, because Two Vets is on, Two Vets, would you mind explaining the basics of the Battle Buddy program?
So we are a program that is designed for military veterans and their families to get back to what feels like normal through the use of a service dog. We meet each week, and we'll go over, we'll go over, basic manners, knowing how to socialize with other dogs and other. Okay. How to socialize with other dogs, and just know how to be okay with certain scenarios. And we'll go over the basic sit, lay down, stay, all of that. We'll work on public access along with some task training for when the dog does become a service dog, and from that aspect, it's a great program. People ask all the time how long it normally takes. It really depends on the relationship that that the handler and the dog have within each other.
I definitely like this setup more because now I'm in between you guys. Hi guys, it's a desert rat sandwich. Anyways, can you tell me maybe a positive, maybe someone you connected with in a positive light that has helped Two Vets Canine?
Yeah, I mean, you specifically.
Hear that, guys? I'm a positive influence on Two Vets Canine. How about you, Kevin? Can I get a negative person maybe you've connected with and it kind of trashed whatever plans you had or goals you had with your business?
Well, I mean, in all honesty, it's the people you connect with. I would say you can blame it on the person that you connect with, but in all honesty, you have to at some point blame it on yourself for not being able to see the flags, not doing due diligence, not realizing the skill set or the mentality, but yes, there are always people that do that. But the thing is, like Two Vets, you're saying, the person had different ideologies, different process, different ways that they thought of things. It's not necessarily wrong. It's just wrong for your business. And that's what people understand. Like if someone doesn't work out for your business, it doesn't mean that they're pieces of shit. It doesn't mean that they're not they're not worthy of being in business. Doesn't mean that everything they say is wrong. It's just that doesn't fit your business, and that's okay.
Right.
And actually, a lot of times it works out very well, because if you split, let's say you start networking, you meet somebody, you split. There's no reason why you all can't do other shit and then come back together to form something else later on, or to work with each other. So it's
Oh,
never a hatred. It's never a
absolutely.
hatred.
Absolutely. And, throughout the years that I've been, actively working, we've contacted each other and it was like, I'm actually seeing a different aspect and, I definitely see where you're coming from. And, you're exactly right. Within that moment wasn't, it wasn't a good fit, you
Right.
know. But I know my thinking process is, as a trainer, you have to arm yourself, or I say you
Welcome
have to
in, Zink.
you have to educate yourself, on all the different types of scenarios, and training tools that possibly could be used, whether you agree with it or not. Because, here's one reason. This is actually one argument that I used with the individual is you may or may not agree with what the person wants to come in and your morals, your values, your ideologies. From that standpoint, you have to be able to meet that team where they're at, and you have to be able to guide them to where you want to go. You can't just go from 0 to 60. And, if they have a remote trainer and you say, no, get that remote trainer off, and you go automatically to a flat collar, you can't, you're literally setting, a scenario up for disaster. And, the the analogy that I gave them was you're literally taking a bridge and you're using dynamite on that. And there's going to be that disconnect. But if you can walk it down, go from, the remote trainer to the prong collar, and then slip collar, and then to the flat collar, and you can literally use it as a staircase. You don't have that bridge that gets, destroyed.
So at
And
the end
they're
of the day,
like,
it's like they don't want to follow your business, your morals, your standpoint, the way you do things, and that's
right,
okay. But it's your standards, not
right,
theirs. And if they don't want to
right.
follow that, then
Now,
that's a negative networking. That is
I,
negative
I
network. Or
I
negative
will say
connection.
this. That kind of brings up another good point about networking as well. Okay, any kind of business, I don't give a shit what kind of business it is. If you don't have a process, in my opinion, if you don't have a process and you just have people out there trying to do things in your business without a setup process and policy, procedures, and all that, that is no longer a issue on them. That is a you issue as a business owner, or even like me. I have boundaries. I have certain aspects that like certain things my friends have to meet in order to be able to be around me all the time. And believe me, I've cut off people for the
For
most
less.
minuscule reasons. Okay, simply because they just did not fit me. And I've noticed that been a big thing with people is everyone wants everyone like you, right? Everyone wants everyone to love. Oh, I just want friends. No, that's called being a people pleaser. That's one thing I refuse to be, and I was. Believe me, I was for a long time. I was.
I was
So
too. I know exactly how you feel.
now, what we're going to take business policies and procedures and move it into our everyday life, right? With networking, okay? So if you don't have boundaries and you don't have criteria that you want the people that are around you to meet, that is no longer a them issue. That is a you issue, in my opinion. In my opinion,
Mhm.
if you just I'm going to go hang out with this crackhead down the road that steals from me every day, that's a you problem, not a them problem. You know who they are,
Mhm.
so change it,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, your network. Yeah, you pick your network. And that's the thing is you pick your network, and when you start growing, you still pick them. So if you pick the network that was below
Yep,
you, if you start networking below you, you're gonna get below average
yep,
results. It's what's gonna happen. If you network
exactly.
above you, you're gonna get the results from the people, and that's like you've heard. Your network is your net worth. That is
Which
legitimately that's it. That is 100% how it works.
I'm going to bring up a fun fact. I know every week I brought up the fact that whenever Kevin's sitting here like this. Do me a favor, Kevin.
I got my
ahead and do this
sweatshirt
for
on.
me.
I got my
I don't
sweatshirt
care.
on.
I
Man.
don't care. You're still big. Do this real quick. All right. Now, so because every week I have seen Kevin sit there and do this, and I'm like, God, I look so scrawny. I actually went and bought some weights just so I could start lifting weights, okay? All right, literally, I got 2 barbells, and that thing forms into a dumbbell.
That's funny.
Y'all, don't forget to eat those Wheaties. But no, for real though, I'm being serious. If you want to get to a point in your life where you are successful, whether it be weightlifting, good nutrition, business, you cannot surround yourself with people that aren't doing those things, right? You can't surround yourself with people that aren't out there lifting weights. You can't surround yourself with the people that aren't out there trying to be successful in business or aren't out there trying to make a successful 501c3, which that brings up the next point. Hopefully, I'm hopefully going to have a person from a 501c3 that I know and I love, and I'm going to say, I'll say it with my whole chest. This 501c3 is very dear to my heart. That's FSB Initiative. Amazing person. I'm going to have the owner of FSB hopefully on the podcast soon. We just got to set up time and all that stuff. Two Vets, what do you want to say?
Well, I think.
By the way, this isn't school, so you don't have to raise your hand.
Well, I wasn't going to cut you off, and I wasn't going to, I know how your mind goes. You can have a squirrel moment any second.
ADHD works for me.
But I think that goes back to something that we've talked about earlier. As far as getting in the wrong network or
Speaking
or
of network,
whatnot.
give me 1 second. I'd like to wish a congratulations to a good friend of mine, aka Tink, but her daughter had a baby. So congratulations on the new baby.
Healthy.
Oh yeah. We
Good.
here at Empowered Mindset welcome this baby with open arms. Way to go, Sydney.
Well, one of the things that I've heard here recently, what you don't change, you choose. Whether you're in a bad relationship, or
13 years
networking,
of it.
uh, or a network that is probably not a good fit for you. What you don't change and what you don't do to better yourself, you are choosing to stay in that area.
Well, it's like, okay, so a building's on fire and you're stuck in that building, right? You
Bingo.
have a window you can go out or a door that's on fire. You keep choosing to go to the fire in the door. Whose fault is that? Is that the firefighter that's outside the house, or is that your fault because you're not choosing to go out that fucking window?
Mm-hmm.
That would be my fault.
Okay.
Right.
Now, say the window's on the 3rd story, and if you jump out that window, you could possibly break your legs. You go out the door, you're gonna die. You know you're gonna die. What are you gonna choose? I'm sorry. I'd rather break my legs. I'd rather deal with pain than be gone for good. A lot of people make that decision. Oh, well, I might be able to survive running through that fire, but I know I'll survive jumping out that window, but it's going to be a lot of pain either way. I'm sorry. I'm going to choose the 0% chance that I'm going to, I'm going to choose a 0% chance that I'm going to die versus the possible 75% chance that I'm going to die of smoke inhalation and burn to death. Jump out that fucking window.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm using a really sick analogy for this, but we as people have this issue when we have people around us that are not good for us, that we won't we won't jump out that window. Well, there's a 75% chance this guy could actually change his ways and become better.
Right.
Fuck that. Jump out that fucking window, break your own fucking legs. It's going to hurt a bit, but guess what? If you want to get to a point, you have to be willing to take the sacrifices.
Well,
That's right.
I think Kevin could definitely agree with this. Entrepreneurs or any business owner, it's all about the calculated risk. It's the calculated risk. I may or may not succeed, but you know what? I'm gonna have fun while I'm trying, and who knows what happens. If you don't try that, there's only one result that's gonna happen, and you're not going to succeed, but you're not going to fail either. It's still going to,
Well,
it's still going to be a negative answer.
the thing is, and I know, see, this chair sucks. I'm getting really tired of it. I do need a new chair, so if anyone wants to donate a gaming chair, let me know. So, I will say this: there's, I believe, who is it? Gary V. I think it was Gary V that said it, but many motivational entrepreneurs have stated it. You're going to fail your way to success. Actually, I think it was the EB. Actually, you're going to fail your way to success, right? So no matter what, so I'm here trying this podcast. Everyone has seen me on Twitch. Anyone that knows me knows I'm on Twitch as well. You know, I've done merch lines. I've done different businesses. I've had a lot. I've had a landscaping business. I've had a construction business. I've had many businesses, and each one of those businesses, yeah, they made money, but for some, some unforeseen thing happens, and I wind up having to leave it. Out in Arizona, I left it for the military. I chose the military over a business. Why? Because that was my dream. It really was. My dream was to join the military, not necessarily be a 13 Bravo, which I don't regret being a 13 Bravo. I'm going to tell you right now, if you are a young kid and you want to get in the military, go to the Air Force. Don't go to the Army. Easier work, more pay. No, I don't know. I was never in the Air Force, so I don't know.
If you want to be Pinocchio, go to the Marine Corps. I'm a real boy.
The men's department of the Navy.
Damn right.
But anyways, no, what I'm saying is you can have multiple businesses that fail. I believe it was Alex. I can't remember his name, but I know everyone's seen those ads for school.
Alex Ramosi.
Yeah, Alex Ramosi. Okay, that guy. He said something that really rang clear to me. I was watching one of his videos on YouTube. It rang like a bell in my head when he said it. Okay, we focus on so much that we wind up diluting ourselves to a point that we can't focus on the main goal. Okay, so right now, a lot of people are like, well, why don't you Twitch stream anymore? Why don't you Twitch stream anymore? Because I'm doing my podcast. Well, why can't you do both? Because if I do both, there's a good possibility they both fail. But if I do one, there's a for sure possibility that the podcast succeeds. Right?
That's right.
So in other words, go ahead.
No, I say yeah. I mean, that's you have to be able to put energy into something. Like I know, in all the wealthiest people in the world, 7 streams of income. That is how it works. But they don't do them all at once. They start with one, and then they build the rest. No one starts. I'm sure there are exceptions to the rule, but starting 7 businesses or 5 businesses or 4 businesses at the same time, you can't. It rarely works, and I'm guilty of that myself. Trying to start so much stuff at the same time, you can't focus. It doesn't matter how much you try. You can't do it because you got to think if you spend 12 hours a day working on businesses, right? But you have 4 of them. You're spending 3 hours. Like it's 3 hours, and you can't do it. And you're trying to build one business, build another, and they're all different. So you have different processes, different business structures, different what you're trying to find different types of employees. You have different just everything. You're right. And so you can't do it all at one time. You got to focus on one main thing and hit it hard and go with it. But that's where that networking comes from. Because if you think about it, when you're around and I'm not saying everyone you're around is shit. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes they just don't fit what you're doing. And if you're around the same people, that's your network. Well, some people say, well, okay, well, I want to be worth $20 million. How do I network with those people? Believe it or not, a lot of times you just have to reach out. And these people are not untouchable. These people are not, they're not some type of say celebrity, but it's not someone that you can't talk to. And I have found myself that the most successful people, you talk to them, they will actually talk to you and they will actually give ideas and they will give opinions. Like they will do that. But that's what you want. You can't ask opinions from a network here if you're trying to view a network up here. It doesn't work.
Okay, so real quick, those of you guys that are over on YouTube, I do apologize. I don't know what's going on with my chat over there. It's actually really weird. But for those of you guys that are on Facebook, thank you for staying over there and chatting with us. I'm still working on the chat. I get no clue what's going on with it. It's driving me insane. I've been working on it for the past week. So I do apologize for that. But But one of the things that I did want to bring up, and this is something Alex Hormozy said as well, when it comes to your business, okay, we're going to say 4 businesses for the sake of math because I suck at math. Okay, you have 4 businesses, right? It's going to take at least 3 hours a day for marketing, right? For a business, just one business, 3 hours a day just to market yourself. That means putting out ads on Facebook, putting out ads on YouTube, TikTok, all over, right? Doing content. For me, it's as a personal trainer, as personal trainers, we rely heavily on content, either YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We rely on that, right? So if I'm spending 3 hours a day making content for, say, starting up personal training, getting clients to train, right? But I'm also doing a podcast. Okay, so now I'm doing a podcast as well. Now I got another 3 hours that I have to focus on the podcast for marketing for that. Okay, and then eventually you're going to run out of time. That's all I'm saying. Because no matter what, in order to be successful, you are looking at marketing as hours. Okay, and you only have so many hours in the day. Okay, so here's where networking comes in, by the way. So now I'm doing my podcast. I'm wanting to establish merch, right? So who do I have in my corner for merch? I'm going to use you as an example. No Cut Cards. Okay, hey, let's do some merch for Empowered Mindset. Get it going. Okay, cool. So he starts developing the merch for it. Boom. Guess what? While I'm doing my podcast, by the way, Empowered Mindset now has merch. Check it out. Here's right? Okay, that's still marketing Empowered Mindset. But see, wait, now I got my personal trainer I got to do. Okay, shit. How am I going to do that? Incorporate them, right? So I don't have one business still. I have multiple businesses under one umbrella. So now all I got to do is market for Empowered Mindset, right? Now, where networking comes in, okay, so Tuvets, you're really good at editing videos. So I'm going to have you edit my videos for me, right? Okay. No Cut Cards, you have your own merch site, right? Where you make your own clothing, you have your own brand pretty much. Okay, cool. So what if I talk to this guy? Hey, can you make this for me? Okay, there's your networking. You gather the people around you that know how to build what you're trying to build. Therefore, you take less of the work off you. That's where networking can really be good for a business. Now, as far as friends go, what's up, Judith?
Well, one of the things that I was going to say, and this actually isn't, dog training. I mean, it's no secret. I've learned how to play the guitar this past
Oh
year.
my God, here we go on the guitar.
I knew it.
I knew the guitar was going to get brought up sometime in this damn podcast.
But so I actually want to tell you about something that happened this past week.
Let me
And
tell you about my best friend.
Well, your mouths are about to drop. So Thursday, yeah, it was Thursday. Um, I took my guitar. I left Leo at the house, and in the cafeteria and the area where the college is, there's a open space that I could go but with me having the acoustic, I didn't know if I could play, from that standpoint, and Veda. But so I originally went down to disabilities, and the guy wasn't there. So the disabilities office. So I went into the veteran officer, representative. Asked my question as far as being able to play where I was wanting to play, and they were like, "That's a student life question. Go in there." And they took me to the student life, and I asked that question, and they were like, "Well, we've never had that question, but here's what we can do for you. We're going to get you connected with this professor that, oh, by the way, we actually have."
Give me 1 second real quick. Hey, Wyatt, are you able to comment on YouTube? Because last I checked, I still haven't got the actual chat working over there. If you can, let me know or comment over there so that way I can see it on the screen. Sorry about that, too. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with the YouTube channel.
You're good. But so while I'm in student life, talking to those reps, they're like, "Oh, by the way, we actually have a uh, music group on, or we have a music club on campus." Come to find out that they actually have a recording studio
Really?
that students can go in and play their music and sing and all of that. And I'm like, holy cow! So I get connected with the faculty advisor, utilize the room while I'm there, uh,
What happened?
and
You look confused.
do what?
I was confused because all I seen was this.
Oh, I got a notification.
Ignore it.
But
um,
come to find out, you might be looking at the president of the music club for the college that I attend.
well, that's cool. Congratulations. Um, with that said, I personally, I'm proud of you for that. I'm
But
trying to
it,
find something because I did want to bring it up, but I don't know why I can't find it. It's actually kind of irritating. So
well,
what I'm
I
gonna
mean,
do?
so before, I mean, as far as networking, the point that I'm also trying to make is if you don't ask questions, you're never going to get the answers that you want or that you're needing. So, and having that, you know, taking that next step of, okay, what are the possibilities?
I actually wanted to bring this up real quick. This is Mohawk, Wyatt Mohawk. He is an artist, a beautiful artist. He does wood burning artwork. I wanted to actually shout him out real quick because he's a good friend of mine. But I mean, the artwork he does is all hand done.
That's awesome.
And
That's
once
awesome.
again, we're talking about networking. So I figure we might as well go ahead and shout my boy out. He's also a veteran. And this is what he does. This is one of probably my second favorite he's done. And it's actually a recent
That is
one.
awesome.
So yeah, he did beautiful work. Beautiful work. Um, so I just wanted to shout him out. If you guys don't know who he is, he's currently in the chat on the Facebook side. Um, go check him out. He does do commissions. Let me switch this real quick. He does do commissions, and I believe all of his artwork is for sale. So if y'all want to go hit up Wyatt Mohawk, you can also find him at Mohawk Creations or Mohawk Wyatt Creations on TikTok. Amazing artist.
Hmm. No, but it's right there. But that's the networking. Like
Mhm.
other people can network you, but you have to network yourself. You have to put yourself in the middle of that network. That's the problem.
Oh,
Is all the people that you're looking for to get you the idea to get you where you want to go? Right, they're out there, but you have to make
yeah.
yourself available as well. Like that's the thing. That's why networking events and shit for business. It's very important because you go to some type of networking conference, of some sort. There are people there from, I mean, how tons of different types of businesses, and they know people, and then they know people, and then they know people, and you never know. You connect with one person who might, you connect with as an emotional level or a business level. That's what takes you where you want to go because you can't really do it by yourself because you have to have new ideas, new ways to do things. You have to have new ideology. You have to learn more and more
Yeah.
shit every day, and you have no when you if you don't keep put yourself out there, then if you keep yourself in the same group you're in, the same network you're in, you can't learn new shit,
No,
right?
you won't
And
be
it's
able to.
right, and
Almost possible.
but that always comes back to getting out of your comfort zone because it's not comfortable. It is not comfortable to go to a networking event with 500 people. You have no idea who the fuck they are. It's not comfortable, right? It's not you walk in, you feel awkward, but it doesn't matter. Everyone has felt or feels the same damn way,
Right,
right?
completely agree. Which brings us to one of the other things on networking. I know me and Kevin, we've been actually talking about possibly one day getting together, all of us actually in person, and possibly doing an in-person YouTube video where we're going to challenge each other to get out of our comfort zone. So, two vets, I hope you're ready for that day when we actually do it,
Well,
because this is
apparently I've already started, so good luck.
oh no, we're gonna be out in public challenging each other to do things that pull us out of our comfort zone. It could be doing push-ups right in front of in the middle of a busy Walmart. I don't care what we do, but we will be challenging each other to get out of our comfort zone. We would love for you guys to watch when the day comes. But we do have exciting things planned for Empowered Mindset and ourselves, to where you guys hopefully are entertained. I kind of feel like the dude off Gladiator. Are you not entertained?
Gladiator 1 or Gladiator 2?
I've only seen Gladiator 1. I haven't even seen number 2 yet. So,
If you haven't seen Gladiator number 2,
I don't watch much TV because I'm actually currently focused more on this. And as most of you guys may know, I've been sick for the past week, so a couple weeks. So I've been trying to get better as well.
And I will say this, as far as the networking is, you have to offer, like, you're looking for the networking, the individuals, because they provide a value, right? You have to provide a value too. And that's what I think scares a lot of people about going to networking events or whatever else, is they think, well, I'm learning. What the hell do I know? Like what is it that I know that could value anybody? But a lot of people understand that just you being at that networking event shows people that you value yourself enough to do it, because everyone knows how it feels. But then again, you also never know at that networking event, maybe you're the connection that someone's looking for, because you might be it's a little bit higher than this person. And then they'd be like, man, I really wish I knew how to do this. Well, I have a guy that does that. Right. And with being in real estate and being in life insurance, networking is the key to all of it. It really, it always has been.
So not only networking though, but you might be very, very new to your craft. They, you might be, talking or actually doing, your craft and collaborating with other, with other people within the industry. And yes, you are learning, but one of the things that you also have to remember is, for people that have 10, 20 plus years of experience, they're looking at you. Not only are they going to impart their knowledge, but they can see the clean slate and what you're capable of doing, because they've already been there and they can give you the right way to do it.
Exactly. But if they don't know you, if you're not there, they don't know who you are. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like if you don't think you provide a value to be able to be in a networking, I guess, a situation, but you don't understand, like I've said before, is like just you being there. They look at somebody like, man, that dude has no idea what he's doing, but he's here. I want to help that person. And every person, every business who's successful, they've all been in the exact same spot. That's why you never find somebody who's doing really well who tells you to go fuck yourself. They will.
Right.
We'll say never. There's always exceptions to the fucking rule, obviously. But they want to do that because they know where you are and they respect it. They respect that.
So I was told, I think it was, I can't remember how old I was, but this was a while ago. The reason people hire new employees, give me a sec.
Well,
haven't been getting much sleep. The reason give me 1 second, you guys. The reason most people hire new employees is not because it's just a clean slate, but if you have someone new to the craft, what's something that maybe someone new can bring to the craft, such as laboring. Okay, if you're a construction worker, they may be able to find something that you didn't see because you're so into the craft that you're doing things the way you've always done them.
Yep.
They'll bring something new to the table. So one thing, and I know I spoke to that many times because I've gotten so upset because I feel like people like, oh God, I feel like they're taking my ideas instead of being inspired by the fact that, hey, I'm inspiring these people to do these things. There's been many times that ideas have been, that I've had has been used or multiplied, if you will, copied, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that, like, new ideas, think outside the box. Exactly. It brings new ideas. People think, you're able to think more outside the box. As an entrepreneur, in my opinion, you should be able to take the advice from new people. Well, what if you did it this way? Elon Musk is there's a video going around where I believe it was a journalist told Elon Musk, he literally sparked it right there on his rockets. Did anyone see that video? I can't really
No.
remember the video exactly, but basically something he was doing with the rockets that he could have actually made it better. And then he turned around and did it. New ideas. Granted, he took the credit for it, which is, I thought about just as you were saying it. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, being able to bring new people on brings more ideas to the table. So,
Well, something else that people have to realize is you might be a student in a program like Two Vets Canine, but here's a little secret. Have you ever gone to a job interview that you didn't know that you're interviewing for that job?
nope. I've always known if I wanted to work somewhere, I always knew.
Well, so being a part of the Two Vets Canine, program,
Mhm.
me as a trainer, I realize I'm not going to be in this industry forever. You know,
Oh yeah,
I gotta hand my business off to somebody. You know, whether I
but
te- you know, whether I'm going to teach somebody how to train dogs or whatnot. You know, after they go through my program.
so
In actuality,
this
showing
is
up and being a part of a program
this is where I'm a
technically is
little
a
confused. Okay, I'm
interview.
really confused on this. Okay, so you just stated I'm not going to be. Excuse me. I'm not going to be in this industry forever. So having someone take over my business, I'm training. Most business owners don't want to be out in the field full time. They want to be
Right.
able to go out in the field, but they want to be able to enjoy life as well.
Right.
What's the main reason you get into business is not just to make money, but to be able to actually have more freedom in your life,
Hmm.
financial freedom, time freedom. Which that, by the way, just so everyone knows, if you're starting a business, there's no such thing as freedom of time because that
No.
business literally, it's like nurturing a newborn baby. You're with that child every step of the way. I'm a single dad of 5 kids, as most of you guys know. Um, I don't get that luxury of having time to myself. I do my podcast. The rest of the week, I'm with my kids. All the time. Other than when I go to work, which I do work a normal job. Surprising, I do. I don't make money from this, so I do work a normal job. Which I mean, both these guys have been on the phone with me while I've been at work. I've been offered jobs in the past by people
Well,
who I wasn't interviewing for. He's right. Yeah, it's true.
Well, what you said a minute ago about not wanting to be on the field. Just remember that the key to everything, what every business owner wants to get at, but would be, in my opinion, the ideal way to go, because it's how I am, is you don't want to work in your business. You want to work on your business.
Mhm.
right.
That's where it is.
Well, also what I'm
If
also
you're
talking
like,
what I'm also
if you're working in your business versus working on your business, you're not an entrepreneur. You're really not. In my opinion, if you're working in your business instead of on your business, what you're doing is you're creating a paycheck for yourself. That is it. You're not working. You're not a business owner in that sense, because you have to, as a business owner, you have to be able to, once again, networking. You have to know who you can put in charge, managers of your team. You have to have a team built for your business. Now we're going into business aspects. You have to have a team. No
right.
business succeeds without a team, but you also have to be able to trust your team. That means your team has to know what you want, how you want it, and everything like that.
Well, that also leads me into what I was going to say next. You know, I might be working with the team, and the handler comes to me and says I want to get into dog training. Well, if it's somebody that I haven't had any issues, they've always showed up to class, they've gone the extra mile. I can tell that they have a very, very well educated understanding of what I'm teaching. Yes, I'm more prone to say, hey, I'll take you under my wing. But, for somebody that was like, that never showed up to class, always took vacations, and, it was very, very hard to get into the class, portion. Like, no, I'm like, we're
Real,
full. I mean, I'll tell them straightforward, no, we're full. Like, I'm I don't have
Real
enough
quick,
clients to.
real quick, two bets, because I know Kevin's gonna have to go jump off here for a minute. Kevin, I really want to pick your brain more on the networking aspect of how many times now this goes back to Cassie's nice little comment in there. She says every new conversation is an interview, whether it's to be in your life personally or professionally, right? So how many times have you actually had conversations with people that actually kind of turned into an interview where you actually got to know them more and you knew that they wanted to that okay, well, maybe this person I can have professionally in my life and we can actually make something work?
Every time I talk to somebody,
Oh,
every
yeah.
time, every time, because of how I am with, again, like you said, about being around the people that you want to be around, need to be around for how you are. Every time I talk to somebody, honestly, from the first time I talk to them to however long that lasts, I am always searching for that to see where their mindset, where their mentality is, where their drive is, what it doesn't mean like, oh, they gotta have a good idea. Nothing like that. It's like about what that person said. Your interview, like whether it be personal or business, you're always interviewing at all times. But it's so you're always interviewing, but it's the interviewer that's where it really say it matters, but you don't realize that you say something stupid, you don't know who you're saying something stupid to. You say something really, really awesome and really, determined and driven, you don't know who you're saying that to. When if you meet a perfect stranger and do something just that kind of, sinks in, they could be someone that you would never have met any other way. So you are constantly networking no matter what. Every person you talk to, you are networking. It doesn't matter how long you've known them. It doesn't matter how many people there are around you. You are always networking. Always.
So I want to bring up a good point real quick because
I mean,
hang on, two bets. 1 second. 1 second, two bets, just 1 second. I want to bring up a point real quick just so I can actually let the viewers understand something. When we were sitting before we went live and everything, we have a little meeting before we go live to talk about. We didn't know, and I'm going to be blunt, honest with you. We didn't know what we were going to discuss tonight because we hadn't been able to talk all week because all three of us have been busy. Either I've been sick, Tuvitz has been working on his business, or he's been working on his business, which it was funny because he had decided, he goes, oh, I just seen my llama hat, I'm gonna put it on. So he put it on, and me and Tuvitz both we challenged him. We both said no balls on him wearing that throughout the whole thing. Now I want to explain to you guys something. He is a business owner willing to go outside of his comfort zone for laughs. Mind you, this was literally just for laughs. We wanted to make it one, entertaining for you guys, which is something I try to do every time. I like when you play with the ears. No,
I know a little nipple twist, like that right there.
But what I'm getting at, guys, is you can't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone just because you're in public. We're on YouTube, okay? So that means possibly billions of people can see him like this and know he is associated with the official No Cut Cards, okay? Tuvitz sees him like this, knowing he's associated with Tuvitz Canine. You've got to understand that you have to have a certain confidence level in order to do any kind of business entrepreneurship. You have to be confident in what you're capable of doing. Okay.
Yep.
Me, I'm very confident. I can talk. I can give advice. I've always been good at that. It's something that it's a gift and a curse because I can't take my own advice. Most people that can give advice cannot take it. Which is, by the way, it's a bullshit. That's a lie because we choose not to. I want y'all to remember that. Yeah. You need to think whether or not you can or you just choose not to. Okay. But when me and Kevin first met, it was over TikTok. I really got into his content. I liked his content, very good content. And he had messaged me. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was a bot. I even said that. I even said, okay, so this is a bot. Cool. But we wound up getting off and talking to each other on the phone and everything like that. And I told him I want to do a podcast and I want to start getting my personal training thing going. I told him all this, and I told Tuvitz the same thing a year prior, actually 3 years ago, that I want to do a podcast. He goes, okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. I've said it many times. When I told Kevin this, it wasn't, well, do it. It was, why haven't you done it yet?
Why
It
haven't
was
you
a-
fucking done it yet? Thank
yeah,
you.
it's a challenge, you know, and I'm telling you right now, and this both people said the same thing, right? This is where networking, where I'm trying to explain the networking and conversations between the network. And this is where the two mindsets meet. Okay. You have two vets who is, okay, let's do it. I support you. Let's go. You know, and then you have Kevin who's, what the fuck are you waiting on? You see what I'm saying? That both people had the same thing they're saying, but it's the tone they said it, the way they said it. So with that said, if you're looking at doing something as far as a business or as far as something that's in your goals, we could tell you, okay, let's do it. Or we can look at you and say, why the fuck haven't you done it yet? What is taking you so long? So
Right.
I'm gonna put out a personal challenge to anyone that's watching this right now, and I think the other two will agree with this. Whatever you have in your life goal that you want to get done and accomplished, quit worrying about, well, we can do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And just fucking do it. Get off your ass and do it. All right, go ahead, Two-Vet. Sorry. Hey, Kevin, if you got to go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah.
We'll be here for a bit.
One of the things that I was actually, whenever I was taking a public speaking class, there was actually a quote on the wall. Every time that you speak, you are auditioning for leadership. Now, granted, that's not saying every time that you open your mouth, you're auditioning for leadership. When you talk in front of people, you're auditioning for leadership. You know, and I don't know why I wanted to share that, but I know we were talking about networking and all of that. I just felt like it was a good point, to make, because we were talking about interviews and networking. Just know whenever you're talking with people, every time that you speak, you're auditioning for a leadership position.
Give me 1 second. I got to turn something off. I didn't even realize it was going. I didn't even realize those lights were going back there. We do have viewers that do have sensitive, and just so everyone knows, it's not because the lights were distracting me. We do have viewers that could be possibly light sensitive, and I'd like to take into account for that. That's one of those things with networking. Sometimes you have to do things that normally you wouldn't do to simply make sure your networking is okay. So in this case, I shut my lights off because I do know there are people that watch the show that may have some light sensitivities, either blue light, green light, red light, whatever light may be, or even flashing lights. So remember to always be vigilant on that. Okay. You don't want to hurt anyone we don't necessarily have to hurt. Unless, of course, Two-Vets say I'm getting tired of Two-Vets. He's not, he's working for me, but he's not doing what he needs to do. He's my best friend. But you got to understand, especially in the business aspects, you got your friend side, the personal side, and then you got your professional side. Just because I'm saying you're fired from my business does not mean you're fired from my life, right?
Right.
But to get back to the networking part of it, a lot of the people I've met has been through networking. FSB Initiative, I met the CEO or the owner. I don't know what you'd call him. I met him by reaching out to him and talking to him. I met Two-Vets. Honestly, when I first met Two-Vets, I thought he was trying to scam veterans. Not even going to lie. It's not too good to be true. Normally, for me, something's too good to be true. What does that mean? Yeah. So with that said, I did get to know Two-Vets. I actually got to see him in action with his training. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you're not following Two-Vets K9 on TikTok, well, I don't even know if he has TikTok anymore, but I'm going to tell you right now, Two-Vets K9, he is a man of his word. When he says he's training veterans service dogs for veterans, it's not a joke. The only thing a veteran has to pay for is any training, like equipment they need, and to show up. That's it. That's all I've ever seen. I've never seen him charge another dollar more. So,
and then
speaking of which, Mr. Boss Dog here, Mr. Boss Dog. Go ahead.
Well, the canine good citizen. So I'm actually a canine good citizen evaluator through the AKC. Uh, if the veteran wants to title their dog, once they get those papers, and that I've signed off on them, all they have to do is send, roughly about $100, 80 dollars if they're a purebred, and then that's registered, or that their litter is registered as a purebred
But
litter.
but that's not from
Right.
your training though.
No, 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 no.
That's
That's
for their own.
strictly through the
Yeah.
AKC.
So that's what I
But
was
I
trying
mean,
to say is
at
the only thing
most,
that the
at
only thing
most
I've
they
ever
would
seen
send.
any veteran actually pay for through you guys was their equipment, and
Yeah.
I honestly don't count certification as anything really, but I do know that if it wasn't for me reaching out to these people, I wouldn't know. If I know if Kevin from No Cut Cars never reached out to me, I'd never know he existed. This is why we need to be cautious on who we reach out to as well. Okay, if you know someone's going to be in a bad place or maybe a bad fit for you, stay away from them. Now, I don't care if it's family, good friends you've had for years. If they do not fit where you need to be in your life, don't give them the time of day. One, that's just going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt them. We are coming to the end of the show, so I do think that Mr. Tuvets does have a challenge that I have put out at the very beginning of Empowered Mindset, that if he was not done with his jug of water by the time it was done, he had to chug it. Let's go. Chug, 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 chug. By the way, just so everyone knows, this is a deal that was made before the podcast, not just this one, but the podcast ever even started. Because Mr. Tuvets has to start drinking water. That's not chugging. Chug. Here, I'll drink some. I'm almost out of coffee, so that's the other reason why I got in the show. I don't have anyone to bring me coffee. Anyone want to volunteer? Yummy.
I had a mouthful of water. I couldn't answer.
I don't want you volunteering. But no, I do want to thank everyone for showing up to the podcast. Those of you guys that show up every time, I truly appreciate you guys. I hope you guys understand that all you're doing is bringing more viewpoints as well. I know Cassie. I think you've been in every podcast, so way to go, Cassie. I know I've seen Tink here a few times. Mohawk, I've seen him here. I'm pretty sure almost every time we've gone live, I've seen Mohawk over here.
Yeah.
Let's see who else. Who else has showed up? Let's see. No, it's just Cassie, Tink, and Mohawk looks like. So, yeah, thank you guys for showing up. You guys are amazing. I do appreciate it. For those of you guys that are over on YouTube that can't comment, thank you guys for showing up as well. I see there's 4 people over here. You guys are amazing. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and leave it up to Tuvets to give our outro, and then we'll be gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know that we have enjoyed seeing you today. Don't forget to be awesome and know you're loved. And until next time.